There are a lot of demons to contend with on our dear sweet planet Earth. We've got all sorts of purely fictional demons, ones that exist in the many fantasy novels found in every chapter's Indigo. Then there are the more contestable demons, ones found in local folklore and religious tomes of old. Of course, who could forget the metaphorical demons that plague our everyday lives, causing bad decisions and plenty of pain and grief. The ones we'll discuss today are a lovely mix of all sorts of demonic archetypes from all over the world, embodying classical human fears along with many other interesting oddities. It's time to count down the top 5 scary demons living on Earth, part 3. Coming in number 5, we've got Pishchas. Out of all the demons created by Brahma, these ones are probably the worst of all. They take the cake, no problem. They take the meat, rotten flesh, bones, and other assorted once-living food too. Pishchas love to eat, and they will stop at nothing to get a meal. Their preferred food is human flesh, though it doesn't seem to matter if it's alive, dead, or even fresh. As long as they get to eat people, they're happy. Knowing this, most folks would do well to stay as far away as possible from these things. Their taste for people meat isn't all that makes them horrifying though. Pishchas have all sorts of dark and doom-ridden abilities, ready to ruin lives at the earliest opportunity. Anywhere there's an abundance of human corpses, you can find one of these demons. Whether that means a graveyard, a charnel house, or the site of a recent massacre. Once they get their fill of corpse meat, they'll go about trying to infect humans who are still alive. They're known for passing on debilitating and deadly diseases to unfortunate victims and even instilling bouts of horrid madness into others. So even if you survive one, the other might get you. The madness only serves to double down on their goals, as folks who lose their minds will often attack fellow humans. And attacks by madmen aren't often clean cut either. Pishchas love to haunt areas in which violent deaths occurred, making this a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy. The more deaths, the more Pishchas. The more Pishchas, the more disease and madness, the more deaths. And so on, and so on, and so on. Forests in India are said to be flush with these demons too, so watch out. People seem to think that carrying a piece of very pure iron helps in warding them off, so give it a try if you've got some hiking to do. Alternatively, you can carry around the leaves of a neem tree, as this seems to do the trick as well. The folks who have to be the most careful are pregnant women, as Pishchas love to eat their flesh, a little mother-offspring combo. Yeesh. Coming at number 4, we've got the Cauchmar. My French is a little rusty, so hopefully I'm pronouncing this correctly. If not, let me know in the comments. Regardless of how I say this demon's name, it is unpleasant and horrifying. This French name for a European demon is found in many different stories, usually referring to a leaping, jumping, sleep-eating beast. The idea of a sleep paralysis demon is pervasive, with many different iterations appearing across all sorts of different cultures. This one in particular is extra nasty though. Most sleep paralysis demons will simply sit upon your chest, rendering you immobile and terrified. The Cauchmar will jump right onto your ribs, causing quite the jolt and possibly even some pain. From there it reverts back to classic sleep paralysis demon behavior, complete with night terrors and the everlasting feeling of being able to do nothing about your predicament. It's not a good way to spend your night. See, this is why I don't sleep on my back. If my face is in the pillow, this demon can't hurt me, or so I think. The Cauchmar will often return many times during the night over the course of many weeks. This can result in folks losing a whole lot of beauty rest, slowly losing energy, and becoming permanently fatigued. As time goes on, people targeted by the Cauchmar will also start to refuse to sleep, staying up for days at a time. This, as we all know, is a recipe for disaster. Not sleeping for extended periods of time will make folks irritable, irrational, and possibly even cause hallucinations. Hell, in the case of people harboring sand demons, they might even become a merciless killer with no regard for human life. There are ways to counteract this though, like putting shoes beside your bed facing out, or in more extreme cases, placing iron nails inside of your mattress. The Princess and the Pea, this is not. Has anyone ever slept on a bed of nails? I personally have laid down upon one at Science North, but that was for about 10 seconds and they retracted the nails before I got up. Maybe it is worth it to avoid being visited by this terrible creature. Coming in at number 3, we've got the Langsuir. As is the case with many Malaysian demons, this one is inextricably linked to childbirth. The Langsuir in particular is a demon born of spirits who died during childbirth. Some demons will seek out newborns, others will attack still pregnant women. If the spirit who died transforms into a demon, it will grow a very particular set of new features. Langsuir are known for their floor-length dark hair, long talons, and the ability to fly. Kinda like a harpy, but much more objectively awful. They spend most of their time flying flying around stealing fish from the nets of fishermen. Their long talons and flying capabilities make this an easy task. It robs food and money from the fishermen in the community, but at least it keeps them satiated most of the time. If a Langsuir decides it's had enough of fish, it might go off in search of an infant. Their absolute favorite food is newborn blood. It's like gourmet dining to them. Often the Langsuir will change form to get an infant, whether that means impersonating a nurse, midwife, or other human presence who can get close to a baby. If you ever suspect someone might be a Langsuir, look for a hole in the back of their neck. That's a sure sign the demon is looking for blood. Thankfully, this hole is also how you can kill the creature. Taking their talons and hair and pushing them into the hole can kill one of these monsters in an instant. Coming in at number 2, we've got Nidhogg. I won't judge if your first experience with Nidhogg was that hilarious fencing video game. To be totally honest, it was mine too. However, purge those happy thoughts from your head because this demon is nothing to be trifled with. Originating in Norse mythology, this is an enormous serpent who will always be threatening the fate of the world. It's large enough to wrap itself around the entirety of the world and constantly slithers around down there. Its constant consumption of corpses has earned it the title of the Terror of Corpses, which, while very metal, is upsetting the longer you think about it. While consuming all of these bodies, Nidhogg also tends to chomp at the roots of Yggdrasil, the world tree, and when this tree falls, only bad things can follow. And finally at number 1 we've got Namazu. And to cap us off, another underground creature way too large to even picture. The creator of earthquakes, the king of catfish, Namazu. And when I say catfish, I don't mean people lying on their dating profile. I'm talking about an actual whiskered fish that lieth deep in the muck and mire. You're not going to want this one to latch onto your arm though, not even if you are a redneck noodling legend. This catfish should be left well alone because it's basically as big as a continent. Powerful enough to be the source of all earthquakes too. In Japanese lore, the Namazu lies in rest under their country. However, if it ever becomes angry, it will begin to thrash around, and you can guess what happens next. In order to prevent the destruction caused by these rage-fueled tantrums, it's said that a huge stone lays upon its back, which keeps it still. Well, at least until the deity watching over it loses focus, which is bound to happen from time to time. Because of the massive destruction some earthquakes caused in Japan, many started treating them as events meant to rectify some of humanity's sins. This also meant treating this legendary enormous catfish as a god of sorts. A god or a demon? You decide. We're living on the same planet as these demons whether you like it or not, so get used to it already. We'll end up manifesting new ones too, so enjoy. What'd you think of the list? Do you agree with my picks? Which demon scares you the most? Make sure you let me know down in the comments. Speaking of comments, let's take a look at some of your more crestfallen ones from the top 5 most haunted items found in mysterious locations. Lair Mistress says, man, I need to visit that Roman site in the UK. I used to work in contract archaeology and I'm still interested in it. Well, let us know if you find anything. David Wellman says dark web mystery boxes, possibly a crazy list to see. Head on over to Central Dark, we've reacted to a few of those. Chris Nunn says finding haunted stuff and buying and selling stuff in eBay gives a new meaning to don't ask, don't tell. That sounds like a fun little business to run. And James Vance says, yeah, that portrait can stay far, far away from me. That and the one with the crying boy, they're just too creepy. What, you don't want haunted paintings in your house? Boring. And that is all the time we have for today. I'm going to eat a whole bunch of drywall. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. So many demons, so many earths. So little time. That's the thing, right? Trying to get possessed by all of them. Who's got the hours in a day? Coming in at number 5, we've got Pishchas. Pishchas? What do you think this is pronounced as? Pishchas? But there's the S in there though. Pishchas? It's so... Is that Pishchas? Pishchas?
That'll be alright, yeah.
Yeah, let's try it. Anywhere there's an abundant... Whether that means a graveyard, a charnel house, or a charnel house. The madness only serves to double down on their goals as folks who live the more disease and madness, the more the idea of a sleep paralysis demon is pervasive, with many different iterations appearing. This can result in folks losing a whole lot of beauty rest. Yep. This can result in so maybe it's worth, nope. Kind of like their long talons. I
I used to work in contract architecture.